So I hope you're able to see my screen, right? Hari, Divya. Hello. Hi, Divya. Yeah, hi, Hari. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
If I'm not wrong, we had one demo, is it? Or is the first time you're Hari?
just 1 minute. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. What I'm asking is, did we have a session last weekend, or this is the first time you are coming to this?
No, I'm attending first time.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me start with my introduction and then we'll start with what is HANA and then what we are covering in this course. Okay. So my name is Karthik. I have total 10 plus years of experience. I'm currently working as a associate manager in one of the companies. Okay. So my experience will include BW, PO, and SAP HANA. So I started my career with BW, then moved into SAP Business Objects SI 3.1, BO 4.0. From the last 1.5 years, I'm completely involved in the SAP HANA space. I'm a core member of the SAP HANA COE, Center of Excellence for HANA. And then I completed a couple of native HANA projects and one BW on HANA. So currently I'm in the fourth implementation on BW on HANA project. So that's about my technical experience. Now coming to training experience. From last 4 years, I am associated with various institutes on in online training. Okay, I take trainings on BW, BO, and HANA. Okay, so I can give you one complete landscape, architectural overview from BW perspective, BO perspective, and HANA perspective. So if you want to understand HANA perfectly, you should have at least the scope. You should have the overview from BW and BO. Then you will understand HANA to perfectly. Okay. So that's the advantage for a person who is coming from this BW and BO background for HANA. Okay. So now training experience, like almost like 200 people got trained under me. This is like almost like 20 or 22nd batch which I'm taking on HANA. Okay. So that's about me, my training experience and technical experience. Can you quickly introduce yourself? Like what is your skill set? Like which technology you're currently working in, and what your expectation from the course? Hi Divya. Good morning or good afternoon. Good evening. Can you start with your introduction? Hello Divya. Can you please introduce yourself? Hello, Divya, can you hear me? Yes, Hari. You can start with your introduction.
Okay. My name is Harisha, and I have been working on SAP core SAP ECC module. My area of expertise are logistics side, which includes MMPP and warehouse management. Okay. And I'm more interested in HANA from my expectation from the course is more on the functional side, how functional functional consultant can use HANA, and how it can be useful for him. And that's my expectation, and I'm probably interested in getting a certification, I think, which is HANA 320, which is the functional side of HANA. So I hope this course will help in achieving that.
Good that I asked you this question. What is your expectation? So we are not getting into that side of SAP HANA. So let me put it directly what we are covering in this course. Okay, see, SAP is having this standard courses, SAP HA100. This is SAP HANA introduction. Okay, and then we have SAP HA300. This is mainly from SAP HANA, advanced modeling in SAP HANA. Okay, and then you have SAP BW 362. This is SAP BW on HANA. Then we have COPA Accelerator. Okay, and then we have HA200. This is completely from the administration angle of HANA. There are other courses as well, but from this course we will be mainly covering about these first 4 courses. Okay, so we are not getting into anything related to the functional side or as such. Okay, so here we'll talk about what is HANA, what is the main purpose of HANA, how data warehousing will work. Here you will go for complex modeling in HANA for reporting. Then this would be purely for BW developers. Okay, but still, even without BW experience, I can make sure that you understand this. And this is purely from the ECC reporting, for COPA reporting on ECC. Okay. So, Hari, we are only covering this part. Will not go into any other course.
Okay, I think probably you will be focusing on HA300, correct? If I try to go for that certification.
Yes, because for HANA certification, application associate in HANA, so these 2 courses are mandatory. You'll also have touch upon these 2. Okay, meaning so 80% of the questions will come from HA300 and HA100. Some 20% of the questions will come from these 2 books.
Okay.
So you will be able to get yourself certified in HANA. That's not a problem. But is that the thing what you are looking for? That is what is important. Because obviously it's waste of your time and my time if your expectation is something and what we are covering is different. Okay, what is that course code you said about functional? It's a 360, is it?
No, I think it's you have already mentioned it is HA300.
300. Okay.
300.
I thought you were discussing a different course. Okay.
No.
Right. No, fine. Okay. Now, said that what we are going to cover. Now let's start with the basic introduction. What is HANA? Okay. And then we'll see some basics about HANA, and then we'll proceed. Like again, I'll quickly come back and tell you what is that we are covering and what is the course timing, duration, etc. I'll come to that course details, after 10 minutes. But for now, let's understand what is HANA. Okay. So, do you have at least some basic idea on what is the data warehouse, BW?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, good. So, if you have the basic idea, that should be good. Now, if we talk about HANA, first let's see the definition. I hope everyone would have by now know this definition. HANA stands for High Performance Analytical Application. Currently, we are in version 1.0 Service Pack 6. But what exactly it is? HANA is a database, or I can put it in other words, it's a modern database platform. Okay, so good that we understand that it is a database. But the immediate question, what I heard it from many people is that, if HANA is so simple as a database, and why the buzz around HANA? Why people are talking about HANA now? How it will be different from the traditional database? So if HANA is just like a regular database like Oracle or DB2, no one would have been even thought about it, because see, there are successful databases in the market. Now it's very tough to replace those existing traditional database now again with another database. So it's not, so no one would have been even thought about it. So there should be something special with HANA. That's the reason we are hearing a lot about HANA, right? So what are that special features of HANA? So I'll keep it in very simplistic terms. Then you can later once we get into the course we can go through in-depth details of it. So the specialties of HANA, the special features of HANA would be the first one. It's an in-memory database. Okay. The traditional database, what they do is they store the data in the disk. Okay. Now, whenever it is required to, it will pull the data from the disk and it will process the data, and sometimes it will store the data in the cache, right? But when it comes to HANA, here you are not at all using the disk-based storage. You're completely having your data, your complete database itself is in the main memory of the server, in the RAM. Now, why we are doing this? What is the advantage? See, when you store the data in the disk, what happens is, although your CPU is very fast, it has to wait for the input-output operations of the disk. So disk is slow. We all know that. Now, because of the slowness of the disk, you are not utilizing your CPU to the full. So also you get the best CPU, the best process, like from Intel, we have Nehalem, Bestmer. But still, because of the slowness of the disk, you are not utilizing that CPU processing, the faster processing of your CPU. But when it comes to HANA, as data is stored completely in the main memory of the server, the CPU need not wait anymore. So your input-output operations are so fast that your CPU wait time is almost negligible. So you're making the complete usage of your CPU, and data being stored locally in the RAM. Obviously, your processing would be lot many times faster. I hope you heard about HANA being 100 times faster, 1000 times faster. But why? Because of the first feature, that it's an in-memory database. So it's no more caching. Complete data is there in the main memory of the server. You will hear about like 512 GB of RAM, 1 terabyte RAM, not hard disk, 1 terabyte RAM, like 5 TB RAM. So SAP has released a POC where they have released 100 TB of RAM, 100 terabytes of RAM. So that's the hardware capacity now. Now, I mean, the solution is to use RAM as much as possible. So RAM is being used as a secondary memory now. No, the disk is going to be just for backup. So that is the first feature of HANA, that its data is there stored completely in the main memory. So your processing is lot many times faster. The next aspect of HANA is it's a columnar database. Okay. So ideally, HANA is a hybrid database which will store the data in the row format as well as columnar format. But the performance of HANA is because of the columnar database. What do you mean by that? So when it comes to your OLAP operations, okay, when it comes to your reporting systems, a columnar database is highly efficient. So it doesn't mean that row storages are bad. Row storage is good for your OLTP operations, where you have most of the operations are your insert, delete, update, etc. So that's the reason we have been using row storages so long. If row storage is bad, obviously Oracle wouldn't be successful. DB2, Teradata, we wouldn't have been using those databases for now. So row storage is good, but it is more efficient for your OLTP operations, where you have inserts, update, delete, etc. At the same time, a columnar database is efficient for your OLAP operations, for your data warehousing scenarios, where most of the operations are read operations. So when you talk about query processing, what you are doing, you are pulling the data. So most of the operations are read operations. In these kind of scenarios, a columnar storage is highly efficient. So this is the second aspect of HANA when we talk about performance. Why HANA is so fast? Because its data is an in-memory database, then it's a columnar database. Then the next aspect of HANA is its MPP architecture. What is MPP? Massive parallel processing. See, whenever you hear about HANA, it's not just software, remember. And it's not just hardware. Meaning, what it means is, it's the right combination of hardware and software which makes HANA special. It's not just a database. It's just not just a database software from SAP. So when you buy HANA, HANA would you have to buy the hardware and software at one go. When you go to the hardware vendor, you get HANA pre-installed. So it is offered as a box. It's offered as an appeal. So what SAP did is they worked with the hardware vendors. They worked with Intel for your CPU, for the processor. They worked with the hardware vendors like Dell, Fujitsu, Cisco, HP, IBM. They made a very high configuration hardware. Remember, it's a very high configuration hardware specifically made for HANA. Not only that, it's not just about high configuration hardware. The software is designed to exploit that hardware. That's the right word what you have to remember. The software is designed to exploit the hardware. Meaning, take an example, like take two hardware boxes. One hardware box is of 1 TB, like 1 TB RAM, latest Intel Neptune processor, and then you have 8x8 core CPU, then the best network. On the one database you install Oracle, on the same hardware box of the same configuration, on the other database install HANA. Still, the traditional database like Oracle or DB2 will not give you the same performance of HANA, because those databases are not designed to handle that hardware. They are designed to handle the traditional regular hardware. But when it comes to HANA, the software itself is designed to make use of that hardware, to exploit the hardware. So that is massive parallel processing. I mean, the name itself says, right? Parallel processing. Try to make use of all the available resources in the hardware, high configuration hardware. Try to use the high configuration hardware, massive parallel processing. Now think about one guy doing the task or 100 guys sharing the task. Obviously, it will be 100 times faster. Okay. Now that is the next aspect of HANA, that is MPP architecture, massive parallel processing. A software which is installed on a high configuration hardware, and the software is designed to exploit that hardware. Then the next aspect of HANA, this is very special with HANA, that is real-time analytics. What it is? With HANA, you can analyze your data in real time. As soon as a transaction happens in the source system, that data is immediately available in HANA for your reporting, for your analysis, for your analytics, for your business intelligence. So, I mean, how HANA can do that? So, HANA has a component called SLT, which stands for SAP Landscape Transformation. Now, with this feature of HANA, you can push the data in real time. As soon as a database commit happens in the OLTP system, that record is immediately pushed into HANA in real time. Now data is available in HANA in real time. Now you can do real time reporting with HANA. So then the next aspect of HANA is SQL scripts. What it is. In HANA, what you do is, let me share you one document. You have a traditional database and application layer approach. Let's say you have ECC or BW running on Oracle or CRM running on Oracle, etc. I want to do a very complex operation. Okay. So on 10 million records. So what you have to do currently in the current approach is, let's say ECC running on Oracle, you have to bring that 10 million records from the database to application layer, to ECC or BW, CRM or any other non-SAP system, etc. Now do that calculation in the application layer and send it back. Because it's very tough to do that complete calculation with regular SQL in the database. So for that reason, what you're doing is you're bringing the data to the application layer. Now with the programming languages like ABAP, etc., what you're doing is you're processing that required logic in the application layer and send it back. Now the problem here is with this approach is when you handle 10 million records, if the time involved to process that logic is, let's say, 1 minute, it's taking almost 10 minutes to move the data from database layer to the application layer and send it back. So more than your processing time, the time involved in the data travel from database layer to application layer is very huge. So unnecessary processing time is wasted. Now with HANA, what you have is you have SQL script. With SQL script, because it is integrated with languages like C++, you can push complex calculations directly to the database. Now you are handling the most complex calculations directly in the database, because of which the data travel is no more required. You are completely doing the calculations in the database. So because of this approach, the time involved in the data travel is eliminated. So you will see faster response time. A processing which is taking 10 minutes earlier, now it will be completed in 1 minute. So that is the next aspect of HANA, why you see faster response time. Then some of the specialties of HANA is it can do text analysis, it can do predictive analysis. What is text analysis? So you can process very large unstructured data. In HANA, you can process large unstructured data. Like for example, if you see Facebook data, there is a lot of information which is being posted in Facebook. Now, can you analyze your Facebook data so easily? Like trillions of users, they are posting about whatever the information they want. Now that is not structured data where you are organized in good manner. Like this is a table where you have a primary key, which is column number, index number, document number, something like that is of not that data. It is all very unstructured data. Now to process that data, you need a text engine which can understand and analyze the text, not on the key value. Like let's say you want to process your employee IDs, it's very simple because every employee will have a unique employee ID. But it's not so easy to process unstructured data. Let's say, for example, you're Googling, you open google.com and say type in SAP HANA training in Hyderabad, but you mistakenly type that Hyderabad. You just say that HYDBAYA. But system will automatically try to find out what you are looking for and it will prompt you suggestion SAP HANA training in Hyderabad. How it has to do? It has to look for the right word in the dictionary and then give you the suggestion. That is called text analysis. One simple example. It's more than that. Okay. So HANA has a text engine which can do text analysis. It can process unstructured data. And then HANA can do predictive analysis, statistical computing. So HANA can be integrated with a language called R, which is statistical computing language. Like you can do regression, progression. You can predict your data, what happens in the future. That is called data mining, data prediction. So now with HANA, you can do also predictive analysis, which is gaining very popularity with HANA. Okay, let's say for example, genome analysis. Like you are seeing a trend from a list of patients from the last 5 years. You can discover, okay, now in this family, what happens for the next 3 generations? What kind of disease you can expect? How do you do that? You are analyzing the last 10 years of your family historical disease. Meaning, so you are storing the information of a particular family for the last 10 years. What kind of diseases they are getting? What kind of, so you can predict what can happen in the next 3 years. That is called predictive analysis. For this, 2 things are required. You are analyzing a huge amount of data, and at the same time, you are doing statistical computing on top of it. Now you can only do this when you have the ability to handle a lot of data and also there is a predictive analysis component embedded into it. So that HANA suits very well. So it can handle massive amount of data because of the first features, and then it has a predictive language integrated. So now you can do predictive analysis. Then HANA has an embedded calculation engine. It has a planning engine. So some of the OLAP operations, like in BW you will do currency conversion, exception aggregation, cell level calculation. Some of the OLAP operations can be directly done in the calculation with the calculation engine in HANA. So basically what you are doing is you are pushing some part of the application layer to the database. So HANA is not just a simple database. It is more than a database. It's an in modern database platform where some part of the application layer is pushed into the database layer. HANA has an embedded planning engine. So I hope you heard about integrated planning in BW, business planning and consolidation, BPC. So when you use HANA as a database for these tools, you can execute your planning functions directly in the database. So what is the advantage? You are executing these planning functions on a high configuration machine. This is called in-memory planning. You are executing your planning functions in the database, in the high configuration database. So these are some of the specialties of HANA. Let me quickly give a recap. Okay. Hi Srinivas, we just started with the demo. Okay. So we started with what is HANA. HANA stands for High Performance Analytical Appliance 1.0 Service Pack 6. What does HANA stand for? High Performance Analytical Appliance. Okay. Now HANA is nothing but a database. So a modern database platform with some of the special features. So the special features of HANA is that data is stored completely in the main memory of the server. So as data is there in the RAM is lot many times faster than the disk. So you will see faster response. Then HANA is a columnar database. What is columnar database? So columnar databases are highly efficient for your OLAP operations, for your query processing. So that's again you see query performance with HANA. Then HANA is MPP architecture, massive parallel processing. What you do is you install the software HANA on a certified and high configuration hardware. Not only that, the software is designed to exploit that hardware. So think about 5 TB of RAM, 5 terabytes of RAM, 100 GB of RAM, 500 GB of RAM. So you're putting the complete database in the RAM. Earlier this is not possible because hardware is not so cheap earlier. But now hardware prices has come down. Now even you are getting 8x8 core engines, 8x8 core CPU, the latest Nehalem Intel process like Nehalem Dashmer, which is of very high speed. Not only the hardware, the software is also designed to exploit the hardware. So that's MPP architecture. Real-time reporting. As soon as the transaction happens in your source system, you can analyze your business. Purchase order is created. Now you can directly add up that data to the report. HANA has SQL script, which is more than your regular SQL. Because of this, you can push complex calculations to the database. HANA can do text analysis. HANA can do predictive analysis. It has an embedded calculation engine and a planning engine. So these are the special features of HANA. There are many more, but these are the high-level features of HANA, which makes it special when compared to the traditional database. Okay, so let's quickly see the definition for HANA. Then what are the components involved in HANA? What are the versions, etc. See here, SAP HANA is a hardware and software combination where it is including the main components in-memory database, Sybase replication, and SLT. Okay, so HANA is not just software, HANA is not just hardware, it's the right combination of software and hardware. Where it has the main component, the HANA database itself, the rest of the components are required for your data replication, to load the data to HANA. Now, HANA is an in-memory database, or I would say HANA is a hybrid database which can store the data in the row format as well as columnar format and object-based database technology. Meaning, See, as I mentioned, columnar database is good for your query processing. It is lot many times faster than the row storage, but not in every scenario. Okay, so there are scenarios where a row storage would be good. So there are scenarios where a columnar storage is good. So if you are doing lot many write operations, a row storage is good. So HANA is clever that it can store a table either in row format or in the columnar format. So depending on your scenario, you will either create it as a row store table or a columnar store table. So that's the advantage. So it's a hybrid database. And then, as I mentioned, so HANA is optimized to exploit the parallel processing capabilities in the modern multi-core architecture. So you are getting a lot many 8x8 core CPUs. Okay. Now hardware is there, and also the software is designed to exploit the hardware. So let's see the components of HANA. The first component of HANA is the database itself, IMCE server, in-memory computing engine or your server, that is the HANA database itself. Then the next component of HANA is IMCE clients. What are clients? Clients are nothing but interfaces through which HANA would be connecting with the other components. So for example, you want to do reporting on HANA, or you need to connect business object tools with HANA. So for that you require the drivers, interfaces. So these are the several interfaces which are available to connect to HANA. Then we have HANA Studio. This is the front-end tool to connect with your HANA database. Whether you are a HANA developer or you are a HANA administrator, you would be connecting to HANA using HANA Studio, the front-end tool. So it's an Eclipse-based application. So Eclipse is a platform where you can build your application. So HANA Studio is one application built on Eclipse platform, through which you will be connecting to the HANA database. Just like you have SAP GUI, where you can connect to the SAP BW, ECC, etc. So using HANA Studio, we will be connecting to the HANA database. Then the rest of the components are required for your data replication. Okay. So now let's see what is the architecture of HANA. Okay. So this is a high-level architecture of HANA as a data mart. So HANA is offered in various flavors or various versions, or HANA will be used in various scenarios. So SAP HANA as a data mart, this is the first flavor. It's also called as native HANA, HANA as a standalone. Okay. So in this architecture, what you do is you have an OLTP system like ECC or CRM, etc. Now you pull the data from OLTP system using one ETL mechanism and then load the data to HANA. Once you load the data to HANA, then you will go for BOBJ reporting on top of it, BO reporting, business object reporting. So let's see this architecture. First of all, what is this ETL? Extraction, transformation, and loading. You are extracting the data from OLTP, convert into a reporting flexible format, and then now load it to the HANA database. You are bringing the data to HANA. Why? For reporting. Because HANA is 1,000 times faster than your regular BW or OLTP systems. You bring the data to HANA, and then you are going for reporting on top of it. Okay. So here, if you see the bottom, in this diagram, if you can see SAP Business Suite BW third party, meaning you can extract the data to HANA from any of these source systems. You can extract data from ECC, CRM, SRM. You can extract data from BW. You can also extract the data from any non-SAP system, third party. Like for example, you have a Oracle app in your landscape. Still, you can extract the data to HANA. So these are the methods through which you can bring the data to HANA, to extract the data to HANA. Real-time replication services, SLT, data services. These are called as data provisioning techniques. So the methods through which you can load the data to HANA, the methods are SLT, BODS, DXC, and flat file. So SLT stands for SAP Landscape Transformation. It's a real-time replication mechanism. As soon as the transaction happens, data would be replicated to HANA. It can connect to both SAP and non-SAP. Now the next mechanism is BODS. It stands for Business Objects Data Services. It's an ETL tool. Like if you are aware about tools like Informatica, Data Stage, AB Initio, BIRT. So these are what ETL tools. So data services is another ETL tool. This is bad job. This is not real time, but this can connect to both SAP and non-SAP. But the immediate question is, now when SLT is real time, when you can connect to both SAP and non-SAP, what is the need for data services? Because it is bad job. It is not real time. But why do we require data services when SLT is already real time? SLT is real time, but this would be mainly used when you don't have complex data transformation. So when you are not transforming your data in big way, you are just replicating the data from one table to another table, then you will use SLT. Otherwise, data services is well suited for non-SAP and SAP replication, especially non-SAP, where you want to apply complex business rules. While loading the data to HANA, you want to apply many business rules, you want to transform the data according to your reporting needs, then you will go for data services. Now there is next method to replicate the data to HANA, that is DXC. It is introduced from Service Pack 4. It stands for Direct Extractor Connection. Again, then the same question. Oh, now you said that SLT is real time. I said that SLT is real time. Then again I said data services is good for complex transformation. Now what is the need for DXC then? So for complex transformation I can use data services. For real time I can use SLT. Then why again DXC? So to understand DXC, basically you need to understand how the data loading will work for BW. Okay, so SAP has a data warehousing component called BW. So let's say you are extracting the data from SAP ECC to BW. What you do is, or what SAP did is, they have built some standard methods of extraction that is called data sources. A predefined logic, predefined ABAP code is given by SAP to extract the data from OLTP systems like ECC to BW. Almost 6,200 data sources are developed by SAP over the last 10 years. They are proven methods of extraction to BW. They are reliable, they are good in terms of performance, they are stable, which is adopted in the industry from long time. So they were actually designed to load the data to BW. SAP never thought about HANA that time. But now what SAP thought is, okay, now good that now we have built these data sources which are currently loading to BW. Why can't I use the same data sources to load the data to HANA? So that's where DXC comes into picture. With DXC, now we can make use of the standard SAP built data sources to load the data to HANA. So that is DXC, Direct Extractor Connection. That's a high level overview. Once we get into the course where we'll talk about DXC in detail, how we are using it for BW, how you can connect to HANA with DXC. And then the last method to replicate the data to HANA is using flat file, a simple CSV file upload or an XML file upload. So these are called as data provisioning techniques, data loading methods, the way you replicate the data to HANA. Why you are doing that? Why you are bringing the data to HANA? So you are reporting. That is the architecture we are talking about. SAP HANA is a data mart. You bring the data from OLTP system using one of these methods. These are called as data provisioning techniques. I'll just simply say DPT, data provisioning techniques. you load the data to HANA, and then you are going for box reporting. Now here you have your data in the ECC, CRM or BW, etc. Then using one of this method, you replicate the data to HANA. In HANA, as I mentioned, HANA can store the data in the row format as well as columnar format. 90% of the tables would be stored in the columnar format. Okay, we'll talk when to use row storage. You will store your data in the columnar tables. Okay, tables created in the columnar storage. Then finally you want to do reporting, but you will not do directly reporting on those columnar tables. What you do is, on top of these columnar tables, you will build information models using the front-end tool HANA Studio or Modeling Studio. So it's this way. So let's say you have an ECC system. Consider I'm loading the data using SLT, or you can use BODS or DXT. Now you bring the data to HANA. So in HANA, what you do is you will store it in the columnar tables. Okay. On top of these columnar tables, you will build information models. So that is the job of your HANA developer, building analytical models, information models in the name of attribute view and analytical view, calculation view, etc. So then comes the BOBS reporting, the BO reporting. So this is your HANA layer, where you have the tables in the columnar format, and you will build these information models. How do you build these information models? Using the front-end tool HANA Studio. Then comes the reporting part. As of now, Business Objects BO4 is a certified reporting tool on HANA, and very recently, just 2 weeks back or 1 week back, MicroStrategy is another reporting tool which is certified by SAP for HANA reporting. Meaning, if you want to do reporting on HANA database, you either need to do with BO or MicroStrategy. Then only SAP supports it. Any other reporting is not supported by SAP. It doesn't mean that HANA cannot connect to other reporting systems. HANA can connect to all the reporting systems because it has the standard SQL interfaces, ODBC and JDBC connections. It can connect to Cognos, it can connect to Hyperion, so it can connect to MicroStrategy, it can connect to TIBCO, Spotfire, Tableau, ClickView. All these reporting tools has HANA connections, but SAP certified only MicroStrategy for now. Okay. Most of the cases, BO would be used for HANA reporting. Okay, because they are from the same vendor, so the tool is also tightly integrated with HANA. So this is the high-level architecture of HANA in the native HANA perspective. Whenever we talk about HANA as a standalone, HANA as native HANA, so this is what you do. You bring the data from one of the OLTP systems using one of the replication techniques, store the data in HANA, then create some models using HANA Studio, then go for the reporting. Okay. The next flavor where HANA would be used, or the next scenario where HANA would be used, is SAP BW on HANA. So this is mainly for the BW developers, so someone who has experience in BW. So you have a BW system running on a traditional database, let's say RDBMS. Now what you do is you replicate you upgrade your BW system to meet the required criteria, SAP BW 7.3, service pack 5 and above. Now you upgrade your BW system to BW 7.3. Then what you do is to do a database migration from RDBMS to HANA. Now once you do this, you'll plug in HANA as a primary database for your BW. So this is called BW on HANA. HANA is a primary database for your OLAP system BW. This is called BW on HANA. So how we are doing your modeling in BW? You will still continue with the same modeling logic to build your info cubes, DSOs, etc. in the BW. So, but here you are leveraging the power of HANA with your existing BW application. So that is called BW on HANA. Then the next aspect of HANA is called accelerator. SAP HANA accelerators. So consider, let's say you have an ECC system. SAP ECC running on RDBMS, let's say Oracle. Now, what you do is you will not upgrade your ECC system, but you will just simply add some additional service packs. So a slight modification in the ECC layer. Then you are not doing your database migration here. You will still have the same Oracle database running below your ECC. In addition to that, you will copy the data from Oracle to HANA. Then you will plug in HANA as a secondary database for your ECC system. Here HANA is acting as a secondary database for your existing OLTP. Meaning, now for ECC you will have two databases. So all read and write operations will happen on Oracle traditional database. But for example, if you talk about COPA accelerator, now when you run a COPA report in ECC, data would be complete. That report will fetch the data from HANA instead of Oracle. Okay. So why you are doing this? Why two databases? Why this all extra layers? Right. Now, the purpose of this accelerators is to increase your reporting performance within ECC. I want to get real-time reporting. I want to get reporting super fast running queries directly in ECC, not in BW or not in separate system. I'll go to a particular T code in ECC. I run the report. That report should run with super fast when compared to the regular scenario. And at the same time, I don't want to disturb my existing environment. That is very important. See, the client says that, okay, I am fine that you are plugging in HANA. I will see query performance. But he will be very sure that I don't want any changes in my OLTP system. So ECC is my business. I cannot touch my business. I cannot touch my ECC system for additional performance. So that is the answer for accelerator. What will happen is, all read and write operations will still happen on Oracle, the traditional database. So you are not modifying anything there. The only thing what you are doing is you are copying some data to HANA. Let's say, for example, COPA data. Now, once you copy the COPA data to HANA, only COPA reports will read the data from HANA. As COPA reports are reading the data from HANA, you will see your COPA reports running 10 times faster, 100 times faster. At the same time, even if there is some problem with HANA, still you don't have an impact to your ECC because Oracle is always there. Even if HANA is down for some reason, ECC will bring the data from Oracle. So all read and write operations are still happening on the Oracle database. So HANA is acting as a secondary database for your existing OLTP system. So this is called innovation without disruption. You are making the power of HANA for your existing OLTP system without modifying much in your OLTP system, without doing any big changes in your OLTP system. So this is called accelerators. Then the next aspect of HANA, or the next flavor of HANA, would be SAP Business Suite on HANA. What is this? This is nothing but running your OLTP systems like ECC, CRM, etc. Now you are pushing them to HANA database. So here HANA is acting as a primary database for your OLTP systems. Now here you will do a database migration. Okay, I'll just simply say DBM database migration. Now then you will plug in HANA as a primary database for your OLTP system. So here a columnar database is made efficient for your OLTP system. So that is the next feature of HANA, SAP Business Suite on HANA. Okay, so this is a high-level introduction about what is HANA and what are the various flavors, what is the architecture, etc. Now coming to the course, so as I mentioned, as a part of this course, we are covering the content from the standard SAP courses, HA 100, HA 300, SAP BW 362, COPA Accelerator. Okay. Then you'll get the certification material for all of these courses. You'll also get the certification material for HA200. Then you'll get HA400 above on HANA. Then you will get the certification material for SQL in HANA. So the courses what we are covering is these 4 courses, which are pretty much required for your HANA certification. So you will get the complete certification material, the latest certification material. So you can see HA100, column 98 with service pack 5. This is the latest certification material from SAP, not some old books like some other people are sharing. Now you will get the latest certification material. In addition to that, you will also get this book. And then you will get a lot of customized documentation plus certification material. Okay, so customized documentation meaning like the document what I am currently using, which is prepared by me and my colleague. So I will share this customized material with you, like you can clearly see where to click, what to click. Okay, so step-by-step navigation would be here. Now you will get this customized material along with the certification materials, and then lot of HANA material is I have selected from the, let's say, the second documents, then some SAP online courses. So all this material would be shared with you. You don't need to look for any other single document once you join the course. Then you will get SAP HANA integrated server landscape, for 2 months. Okay, so where you will get access to the latest version of HANA 1.0 Service Pack 6, which is integrated with BO 4.1, the latest version, BODS 4.1. Then you will have ECC with SLT and DXC, the latest option. Then you will get access to BW on HANA. Then you will get access to a tool called Lumira, which is the latest tool. So you will get this complete access. So this, let me show you the server. So Service Pack 6 with SLT, DXC, BODS 4.1, BO 4.1. You will get access to this complete landscape for 2 months, which you can connect anytime, 24/7. So here you have BO 4.1, Data Services 4.1, SAP HANA. Then you have ECC with SLT, DXC, all the latest features available. Then you have tools like Lumira, business object analysis, dashboard, system reports for enterprise. You will get this integrated landscape for 2 months where you can do end-to-end scenarios. Then the course duration is for 40 hours. Okay, so I'm having 2 batches. One batch is starting from 9th. Okay, this would be 9th October. Sorry, October. So the session timings would be 7:30 a.m. IST. I'm not good in time conversion, so I think this would be 9 p.m. EST, but I'm not sure. Just please check with the time conversion. So this would be a daily batch, Monday to Friday, US timing. So every day 1.5 hours. Okay. So my sessions would be completely practical. I will put all my training, practical experience in the training. I will hardly use PPTs, etc. I see many people going completely on the PPT level training. I'm not. I don't feel comfortable with PPT learning and all. So we'll completely see scenario-based training, where we will create information models, we'll see real-time scenarios, how to get performance in HANA. See, HANA is fast, but just because HANA is fast, you do whatever you want in modeling, and then you expect performance. No. Even you will see scenarios where, because of incorrect modeling, you will see queries running like 2 times slower than your regular database. So you have to optimize your models to make use of HANA. So you cannot just say that HANA is fast. I can do whatever I want. So we'll talk about best practices while using HANA. The course is completely focused on the certification. So there are almost like 150 people who got trained and certified under me. I think this is valid references for people who are managers, senior consultants from USA, UK, Australia. So I have collected all this certification questionnaire from them as well. So I'll share that questionnaire with you. So let me show you those documents. Okay, so these are some of the list of questionnaires for HANA. I'll share all this certification material. Sample questionnaire, which will, I don't say that every question what you get in the certification you will get it from here, but your certification path would be made easy once you go through this questionnaire. Okay, so course is completely based on the certification. Now the prerequisite for this course would be basic understanding of SQL and basic understanding of data warehouse. Okay, so if someone is already from BW and BO background, that would be the optimal course. This would be the best choice for them. But for people who are not from data warehousing or BW or BO, let's say you are from ECC business side, so I would suggest you go through some basics of data warehousing. I can share you some sample documents to understand what is the data warehouse, why you require it. Okay, or my suggestion would be to start with HANA, no problem, at least, but later at least learn BO or BW. Okay, so that will help you not only understand the HANA product to the complete, but also it will help you when you go for your HANA opening, when you apply for a HANA job. So they definitely are going to look for your additional skill set with respect to BW or BO. Always your SAP ECC business knowledge would be always helpful. Okay. So that's about, and each session is recorded. Okay. So I'll be taking the classes from day one to last day again. So nothing like I'll be taking few classes and some other trainer will come and take other classes. I'll be your trainer for the all sessions till we complete the course. So you can check about your server access with the web vendor, meaning check with Ram. So I think whoever you're connected with, check with him for the course details, like course fee or whatever it is about server access. But my responsibility would be to make you understand HANA concepts technically, then to approach for your certification and all the course materials. Okay, so that would be my responsibility. Then anything else we missed? So duration we covered, timing, session recording, certification materials. Course fee and server access you can check with the person whom you are connected with. Okay, so that's it. I think that I have covered pretty much everything. Hari, do you have any questions for me? Hari? Hello? Yeah, Hari, can you hear me? You're on mute. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions, Hari. Else I'll be closing the session.